beginning of each chapter, we are greeted with this prophecy title sequence. It's very mysterious, to say the least. One part of that prophecy has stuck out to me the most, and that's the part where it says, the heroes will banish the angels' heaven. What does this mean? Well, today I believe I know what this means, but it takes on different meanings depending on what route you take. And just in general, it could be applied to different things that we see in the Deltarune universe. Let's get started. I first want to go into all of the references to heaven and hell in Deltarune. This is not 100% comprehensive, because in all honesty, I don't know all of the references to heaven and hell. And I'm not sure how to look for all those references by myself. But I do have a couple that I would like to mention. First, we have Spamton himself. During Spamtonio's boss fight, he talks about using Chris's heart-shaped object, or soul, to see above the dark and get into heaven. In fact, at the beginning of the fight, when you fire a big shot, he says, "Wow, Chris, I hope heaven is watching." Something along those lines. Now, the heaven he's referring to is the light world. That would mean the dark world is hell, right? Well, not exactly. You see, there is something beneath even the dark world, beneath hometown itself. Whether this is the depths or endless dark, I'm not sure. But what I can say for certain is that this is the hell that Spamton is referring to. Something that he knows possibly from Mike or whoever called him on the cell phone. Something below hometown. According to Flowery, there's darkness rumbling underneath. This is what hell is. And heaven is the light world, Spamton's point of view. With that in mind, does this mean the angels' heaven is the light world? Well, not exactly. This is just one example of heaven and hell being used in the game Deltarune. And here I think it's applied because here I think Spamton believes the light world is heaven, because the dark world is treated... Spamton believes the light world is heaven because the call from the depths, or hell, is what ruined him in the dark world, stopped him from being But I think it can be applied to different things, the idea of heaven and hell, and the concept of Deltarune. On that note, there is another reference to heaven in Noel's house. When we're in the basement as the soul is trapped under an angel. We'll talk more about this later. Keep that in mind. So, those are some of the references to heaven and hell in Deltarune. But how can we apply that to the angel's heaven? Well, let's look at some more things. In Chapter 4, we see the prophecy seed. Further, we see the 4 heroes, or 3 heroes, right? The second one is this girl that looks to be like Noelle. Now, in the Weird Room in Chapter 5, Noelle makes very direct references to being angelic. If you told me to, I can grow wings and fly across the lake. That sounds like something an angel would do, have wings and fly. Does this mean Noelle is the angel? Well, yes and no. I believe that there is duality in the prophecy. That it can apply both ways for both the pacifist and the Snowgrave Side B route. I believe that Noelle is the angel of Side B, but Susie is the angel of pacifist. Why? Well, let's look at pacifist. Susie does not seem to be a main character of the prophecy. Looking at what it says in the title card, in the prophecy card area on Chapter 4, the second hero looks like Noelle. She even has a sword. Noelle can equip swords, but Susie can't. So this indicates that Noelle will be the angel, but I don't think so. I think that Susie is the angel because of her defying the prophecy. She is going to save the world by defying prophecy, stopping whatever bad thing she saw at the end of Chapter 4, and being able to save hometown as its angel. In Undertale, Gerson tells the story of the Deltarune, and how the angel will one day save the monsters. Now this is keep this in mind too. In Undertale, this goes both ways. The Deltarune goes both ways in the genocide and pacifist route. Because in the pacifist route, we do save the monsters, but in the genocide route, we save the monsters too. We liberate them from their troubles, just not liberate by bringing them to the surface, but we liberate them by killing them. But that is some form of liberation. That does fulfill the Deltarune. Even stranger evidence for the duality of having two different angels in the routes is the word Deltarune itself. In the game itself is one word, but in the game it's fragmented, Deltarune. This could just be a coincidence, but maybe this is a reference to the two sides, two angels. In the Deltarune itself, it has that angel. The symbol of the royal family in Undertale, it has the angel on it. There is an angel in the story. So what about the weird root then? Well, again, Noelle, grow wings and fly. But I think this is where the love will find its way to a girl will apply. I think that in the pacifist, the soul, which should be love in this case, not only because of the love in Undertale, but because of the heart on the prophecy cards. But yes, so the soul, you're going to have it Susie in the pacifist route because she's the stand-in for the second hero that's supposed to be Noelle. She is that summon. And so, instead of Noelle, it's going to be her. She needs to find the prophecy. But in side B, Noelle is our angel. And I think she'll want the soul to break free from her chains. Also, remember in the weird route, at the end of chapter 4 and at the beginning of chapter 5, there's this red dot on the screen that would appear to be a new soul. Very suspicious. So then what is the angels heaven? Well, in pacifist, it's Castletown. I believe it's Castletown. Susie, it's directly told to us that Susie believes that Castletown is her home now. She sleeps there not every night, but in the game, she starts sleeping there. When she asks us to bring her home, if you bring her to her apartment, she says, that's what I mean. She considers Castletown her home. I would argue maybe even her heaven. And if she is the angel of the prophecy and pacifist, then it would make sense thematically that would be her heaven. And then this goes even further. This is why she was so upset at the end of chapter 4. We're not killing somebody. We're banishing her home, her heaven. We're banishing everybody she knows and loves. It's going to hit her hard, but ultimately, it's going to need to be done to save the world. As for the weird root, I can't really say. I'd imagine we're going to see something in chapter 7 that we're going to have to seal or something in the depths regarding an angel's heaven. And so that's really it. I like to keep these kind of short and concise. I want to prepare a full narrative theory because I really like Deltarune and I have some ideas. And I think this is really important to be a part of the narrative. Answering these esoteric questions, these small questions to build to a bigger story and really predict chapter 6 and 7 down to its plot elements. And I think it's possible. I think we'd be given just enough by Tricky Tony to do it. So, just to recap, the angel's heaven, or the entire prophecy itself, is a duality. It applies to side A and side B differently. In side A, Susie is the girl that love finds itself to. We're going to inhabit Susie. But in the angel's heaven is Castletown. Susie being the angel because she's going to save everyone by defying the prophecy, and Castletown being her heaven. It's why she punches the card that she sees at the end of chapter 4 because she does not want to lose her home. All of her friends, Lancer, Queen, Tenna, Ralsei. Maybe we won't read his last say, but we don't know much about him. And of course, it also applies to side B with Noelle. And this is something I want to talk about right quick. In chapter 4, the soul gets trapped under this angel. And I think you know where I'm going with this. This is not only evidence that we're going to inhabit an angel, but I think this is evidence to what chapter 7 could be alluding to when banishing the angel's heaven. We're going to have to be banished. We're Noelle's heaven. We're the one who takes her out of her mindless march through her life. We're the one who makes her stop being just a Noelle. We're her heaven. And we're going to have to be banished inside B. Thank you guys for listening to me. Let me know what you think about the theory in the comments below. Goodbye.